based on the concept of oneness of God.
Yes. And the understanding.
So what was the understanding of the concept of God of Abraham the prophet, upon him be peace? The concept of God that Prophet Abraham had and what we have, is there a difference between it? And the concept of God that you have compared to what Prophet Abraham had, is there a difference?
I believe that the revelation was given to people throughout the Bible, and Prophet Abraham certainly did not have the same understanding of God as I would have, for example.
So was his concept of God man-made? Because it seems quite clearly the concept of God that Prophet Abraham had was one God without a father or a mother or a brother, sister or daughter or a son, right? God is one and only.
Yeah.
This is the concept of God that we have. You say this concept of ours is a man-made, which is the same concept of Prophet Abraham. So are you saying the concept of God of Abraham is man-made concept?
No, I would not say that.
Right. So what makes you say the same concept that we have with Prophet Abraham, upon him be peace, the exactly same concept about God, oneness, absolute oneness, what makes ours man-made and his not man-made?
I would argue that your claim that this is the exact same concept that Prophet Abraham had. We would have to study the Bible, and I would have
from the studies of the Bible,
I would have to study.
Did he believe in a tri-personal God, Abraham, the prophet?
No.
Right. Did God speak to him?
Yes.
Did God tell him whether he's unipersonal or tri-personal?
He did not. God did not speak to Abraham to give him a theology lecture.
So God did not tell him whether God is one unipersonal or tri-personal.
He says to him, and we could find out the exact words. I am God, your Lord. You shall have no gods
besides
me. Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Does me connotate plurality or singularity? When we say us, imagine it was like this: Thou shalt have no God besides us.
Yeah.
One statement. And a second statement: Thou shalt have no God besides me. What is the difference between the two statements?
Curiously enough, in the book of Genesis, the original Hebrew actually used plural we.
No. The statement, you shall have no other God besides us, and you shall have no other God besides me. Is there a difference between the two statements?
Yes.
What is the difference?
Well, the personal pronoun and what it implies, yeah.
So when God said, you shall have no other God besides me, does it mean us?
You're being very technical, but...
Not technical, being very, very reasonable. Okay. So, does it mean us? Obviously it doesn't.
No, yeah, okay, you can see the point.
Right, so the belief that Prophet Abraham had is that he believes in one God who says there is no other God besides me.
Yes.
So did Prophet Isaiah. I alone am God and there is none else. So when God speaks as I, can you include we in it?
Well, as I said, there are verses in the Bible that actually say, they actually use plural in relation to God.
When God speaks with I, saying I am God and there is none else, can you include more than one person within this I and me? Okay. Clearly not.
No.
Clearly not. No. So it is very clear this is absolutely monotheistic, Unitarian, unitheistic, whatever you want to call it, absolute oneness, saying there is not plurality of God's persons here.
Okay.
That is what we believe in.
Yeah.
God is one and not multiplicity in one. So how is it that you find our belief is man-made and the same belief that Abraham had, peace be upon him, is not man-made? So you have to think about this one. Now, my question leading on to this is, why did God not reveal to Prophet Abraham or to Prophet Moses or to Prophet Noah, peace be upon them? God is multi-personal. Why has it been that these major prophets of God are told by God that there is no other God besides him?
Okay. I refer to those verses, Okay, God chooses to reveal himself to particular people at a particular time. You can see, I mean, it's one particular example, and you could say it doesn't imply a lot. On the other hand, you say, you have God who cannot be seen, who cannot be approached. Yet Moses sees God in a burning bush and has spoken to God. Yet he survives.
How many persons does Moses see? You have a tri-personal understanding of God.
Yes.
And you believe Moses saw God. How many persons in plural did Moses see?
I believe. Okay. Here we got into theology. And
Not
Bible's
theology.
Not a theology.
It's not theology. It's a very simple question to understand whether they believed in one God or multiplicity in one God. When Adam, peace be upon him, when he was walking in the Garden of Eden, how many persons of God did he encounter? Did he see? One person. Then what makes you now believe God is multi-personal?
Because Jesus in the Bible specifically says about himself many occasions directly and is indirectly referred to as Son of God. He is killed on the charges of blasphemy for referring to himself as the Son of God. He makes statements such as God, Father and me are one. In Prophet Isaiah, for example, you will have a verse which says, "And I will send him Prince of Peace, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God," a prophecy that relates to the Messiah, which I believe to be Jesus.
Okay, can I just quickly understand what you just said so far? Because I might forget what you've said so far. You've made about 4 or 5 points. If you call yourself Son of God, and if you are killed for blasphemy, would that make you God?
It makes it clear that this is.
Would that make you God? Is the question.
No.
Fine. So it doesn't matter if someone is called Son of God, and they're killed or punished or crucified for that statement, blasphemy. It doesn't make them God. It's just an accusation. It's just an accusation. Okay, calling yourself Son of God.
And Jesus is answered. Are you the Son of God? Sure. So you say. Sure. Which is effectively
you're making another point. Let's deal with some of the points you've said so far. Son of God. If you call yourself Son of God, are you claiming divinity?
Yes. I mean, you could further split the her and argue to what degree it was. If Jesus was divine in the same way that God the Father is divine, which I believe to be the case, but there are Mormon Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, would not believe that. Quran, on the other hand, says that God did not have a son. I think the word in translation would be he's too lofty, too high to have a son. He does not beget. So I guess, regardless of the implication of the word Son of God, and that Jesus demonstrated, claimed for himself divine attributes, and his actions were clearly understood as such, he was accused of forgiving sins.
I wasn't talking about Jesus. I was talking about you. If you claim to be not Jesus, if you claim to be Son of God, if you call yourself Son of God,
the Son of God, the only begotten.
If you claim yourself Son of God, does that make you divine?
Effectively, yes.
Sure. How many sons of God are in the Bible?
One.
No. I'll tell you. The sons of God by the tons. In the Old Testament, Ephraim, Israel, David, they're all sons of God. In the New Testament, Adam is called the Son of God. He's literally called the Son of God in the genealogy. So, if you have someone...
That's not the case. That's not true, sorry.
Do you have a Bible?
I don't have the Bible.
Okay, can I show you from the phone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because Jesus has not arrived yet. It does mention it. Don't say it.
Son of God.
It said, let us make...
Luke 3:38. So let's find Luke 3:38.
Many believe. The first believers were Jews.
Yeah, it's I believe at the end of chapter 3, yeah. the genealogy of Jesus, which says Jesus, the Son of God, which does not say that does not use the same.
No. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
in Luke 3:38, so let's go and find Bible Hub, for example. Bible Hub. Okay.
Never.
So, because you are not familiar with the concept of Adam being son of God, that's what I'm trying to show you, right? Luke. Luke.
My God.
3.
Okay.
38.
Every time you argue with Christians, you harden your heart.
Here.
It will be a worse hell for you.
So this is the BibleHub.com. It has interlinear Greek and Hebrew. And
I know the website.
NIV is the first one that's coming up here. The son of Enosh, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, the son of...
Can we see the whole passage?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That will become immediately clear.
Exactly.
Okay.
You should be seeing the whole passage. Absolutely. So let's see the whole passage in context. How do you get to the passage? Parallel. I just want to show you a quick option to. In fact, chapter 3. Yeah?
Michael, are you okay? We got separated from you.
Okay, that's all right. Here, so I'll bring you the whole passage. So you have Luke 3. So you can start from verse 1 to all the way to 38,
Okay.
and tell me whether Adam is not called the son of God.
Okay. I mean, that may not
In
convince you.
context.
Okay. The son of Joseph, that is referring to Jesus. As we start with referring, Jesus himself was about 30 years of age, being as was supposed, the son of Joseph, the son of Eli, and all those sons, they refer to Jesus being the son of Melchi, not obviously in a sense being the literal son, but being the descendant, because that also that's
So
what
carry on all the way,
and
go all the
it
way back
goes-
to where?
Goes on to far as the son of Adam, where his genealogy starts.
And Adam
the
is?
son of God. No, it refers to Jesus because this is where it starts.
Sorry.
The whole
Are you
genealogy
saying
starts Yes.
are you saying Seth is not the son of Adam?
Yes. Seth is the son of Adam.
Right, and Adam is the son of? No, what?
You totally miss it. The genealogy refers to Jesus from first person to Joseph, Eli.
Let me help you a bit.
Refers to Jesus.
So Jesus has a father,
Yeah.
who is here who?
No, all those. Okay.
Immediately before Jesus is spoken, he has a father supposedly who is Joseph.
Joseph.
And who's the father of Joseph?
That's not what it means. That's not what it means.
It says the son of Eli. Joseph, the son of Eli, means
If
who?
you stick to the letter, yes, but this is not what it means.
So, what's the relationship between Joseph and Eli?
Because all of those.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
Refer to the sonship of Jesus,
Please,
to the descendants of Jesus.
I'm asking you very simply. What is the relationship between
Okay, I mean you're
Joseph and Eli?
into
No, not tricking. What is the relationship between Matat and Levi?
They are son and father. Yes.
So they are sons and father.
Okay.
So now we have established what we call a genealogy.
Yeah.
So you have son, grandfather, great-grandfather, and it goes like this.
Okay.
So this list goes on. Comes to Adam, and then Adam is called the son of who?
Yeah. Adam. Again, I'm telling you, this does not refer to Adam.
Excuse me. Seth. Who is the son? Who is Seth the son of?
He's of Adam.
How do you follow that?
Because, okay, I have explained to you clearly now. I have explained to you
No, this is a genealogy, isn't it? This is a genealogy.
Yes.
So Seth is the son of Adam, and Adam is the son of God.
No, Adam is not a son of God. And
Okay,
Quran would
fine.
disagree
You know
with
what?
that.
Listen,
Quran would
listen.
disagree that you should not
Now,
argue
bringing
that
Quran
anyone
in
can
is
be
going
a
to help
son
the
of God.
theology. So now what we've established,
Yeah.
that clearly there are many sons of God in the Bible, and it doesn't make them divine. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something even more drastic.
John 3:16.
If God calls you God,
Yeah.
would that make you God?
Yeah.
Sorry? If you said, I am God,
Yeah.
would that make you God? Right. So it doesn't matter, even if you claim to be God, it doesn't make you God. This is exactly how Jesus refuted those people who were accusing Jesus of blasphemy. Do you know how he did that?
Okay.
Do you remember this story?
Well, which one?
When they were accusing him of blasphemy, he says, isn't it written in your law? And he refers back to what? Psalms 82.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
what is in Psalms 82?
Yeah.
There is God
Yeah.
who's presiding in the assembly of gods. So how many gods are there?
Okay, multiple.
Multiple gods.
I'm getting slightly annoyed with your rhetorical trick. Of
No, why do you-
asking me questions? I have to
Sorry.
agree to.
Why do you call it rhetoric? It's your scripture, not mine.
No, but you use it in a particular way.
No, I'm
You
asking
use
you.
this conversation
Okay,
in a
I'm
particular
asking you.
way,
Okay,
which I don't
I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to tell you. When in Psalms 82, God presides in the assembly of gods,
Yeah.
do you understand that there are multiple gods there in the assembly?
We would have to argue about what this particular verse meant in the original Psalm, and I will have to go into the Psalms and study Hebrew, which I'm not equipped
Very
to
good.
do. Yeah.
So when it says God presides in the assembly of El or Elohim, and he says, God says, you are Elohim, sons of the Almighty. So God is describing someone as Elohim.
where does that say?
Psalms 82.
Okay.
So let's go back to Psalms 82 again. Psalms 82. Yeah. Verse 6 in Psalms 82.
Yeah.
God said, you are gods.
Yeah.
Do you know what the the Hebrew word is here in Psalms?
We would have to show the Hebrew.
Yeah. So let's see Psalms 82:4 in interlinear.
I mean, so far we've been just staying on the Bible, which is curious that we've not gone into Quran at all. Okay.
You brought this up, right?
And
Psalms
obviously you basically
82:6.
you don't subject yourself to the same scrutiny.
We were talking about the concept. That's why I asked you, what do you know about the Islamic concept of God? That was a clue so that we talk about the Islamic concept of God. But you brought in multi-personality of God. That's why we had to go to a Bible which seems to be alluding to multi-personality in your opinion. But it doesn't when you actually examine it properly from the belief of the messengers and prophets. So, here, I said, you are gods. The word is Elohim. Right. So even when God describes them as Elohim, it doesn't make them God.
Okay.
Right.
But Quran would clearly say that is a verse that Quran would disagree with.
The Quran disagrees with many verses in the Bible because the Bible seems to be a collective work of men, inspiration from God, and also by people that we haven't got a clue who written it, right? It's an amalgamation of many things. In fact, if we were to question you, do you know all the authors of every single books of the Bible, you'll probably say, for many of them we haven't got a clue, right? So the concept of Trinity, because that's where it's a difference between your belief in God and our belief in God. We believe God is one and one only in his oneness. Exactly what Abraham or Moses or Noah believed in. Why don't you believe in this? And in fact, I will go even further. According to Christ himself, what is his understanding of God? How many person is the only true God? There are many gods. There are many false gods.
He never said anything like that. He does not express himself in this way.
He does.
In a way which you would perhaps like him
He
to
does.
express himself.
He does. I'll show you a verse, but he does. So there are many false gods, and Has Jesus Christ, the Son of Mary, peace be upon them, does Jesus identify the only true God is, who we should worship, who you should worship?
Okay, yeah, you should worship.